So why is all of this happening? Well, the Democrats have told you for the last month there's one real reason at the bottom. Nobody is above the law. Now, there are caveats to that, of course. No one is above the law except for anyone who might potentially vote Democrat, in which case laws are racist and must be ignored. You know that. It's pretty amusing. But here's something even funnier. Those articles of impeachment that we just saw passed in order to uphold the law that nobody is above, well, neither article that apparently have just been passed actually accuses the president of breaking a specific law. So why are we here? Why are we talking about this? Why have we devoted 43 minutes so far tonight to this topic? Why is the president being impeached? Well, ask Hakeem Jeffries, a member of Congress from New York. As he'll tell you, impeachment has a lot to do with, and you never would have guessed this, by the way, has a lot to do with slavery. Bet you didn't see that coming. Watch Hakeem Jeffries explain.
There are some who cynically argue that the impeachment of this president will further divide an already fractured union. But there is a difference between division and clarification. Slavery once divided the nation, but emancipators rose up to clarify that all men are created equally. Suffrage once divided the nation, but women rose up to clarify that all voices must be heard in our democracy. There is a difference between division and clarification.
Huh? Did you hear that? Did you understand it? No, because it was indecipherable, because it was dumb and insane. And how do people like that get power in this country? Ridiculous people. Good question. This is democracy, so it's important. We ought to be meditating on it. But we're not, because we're too mesmerized by the latest in a series of absurd farces brought to you in Washington, beginning with Russia, then Stormy Daniels, now impeachment. If you're a cynical person, you might suspect that all of this was designed from the beginning to distract you from what's actually going on. And what is actually going on? Well, a lot is going on around the world and in this country. For example, one among many. Before it leaves town for Christmas, the Congress will pass a 2,000-page spending bill that Dana just referred to. It amounts to about $1.4 trillion. What's in that bill? Wouldn't you like to know? You were too busy watching impeachment to find out. We took a little time and checked. Here's a selection. For example, thousands of Liberians from Liberia living in this country will get a special pathway to citizenship. Why? How'd that happen? Don't ask. It was never debated. You had no idea it was even happening. This is your country. You didn't know. And, of course, that was the point. Or how about the war in Afghanistan going on now for 18 years? Just a few weeks ago, the Washington Post released a massive trove of documents. They revealed that our leaders have been systematically lying to us about how the war is failing and has been for more than a decade. That should have been the scandal of the year. Instead, those documents are forgotten almost immediately. Why? Thanks to impeachment. In fact, in this new spending bill, Congress just voted to keep the money flowing unimpeded to that failed war. $4 billion will go to the Afghan security forces. Really? It's like a joke. We know for dead certain that money will be wasted the second it gets there. The troops we hire will desert. Their weapons will wind up with the Taliban. If anything, the money that we send is more likely to be spent killing American forces than it is to be turning Afghanistan into Belgium or whatever the mission is. We have no idea. But we know it's not going to achieve that. But Congress is doing it anyway. Meanwhile, Congress is, in addition to all of that, still busily working to undermine your constitutional rights. The spending bill currently includes $25 million to spend on, quote, gun violence research. And don't lie to yourself. That's not social science. It's money that will go to ideologically motivated research with only one purpose: giving a pretext to bureaucrats to reduce your Second Amendment rights. Now, you'd think that might bother Democrats because, as you know, they've spent all week extolling the Constitution, how much they care about it, how they're representing the framers. But, of course, they don't care about the Bill of Rights. If it's an obstacle to their power, they're against it. And that category includes both stubborn constitutional amendments like the First and Second and sitting presidents. Congressman Al Green, by the way, basically said so today ahead of Congress, just a few minutes ago, impeaching the president on both Articles 1 and 2. When Green called for the president's impeachment, he didn't mention high crimes and misdemeanors. No. He got right to the point. He accused the president of disagreeing with his views on immigration. Watch this.
In the name of democracy, on behalf of the Republic, and for the sake of the many who are suffering, I will vote to impeach, and I encourage my colleagues to do so as well.
What does that have to do with Articles 1 and 2? What does that have to do with impeachment? If you're confused, you don't know how it works. So here's a primer. Here's all you need to know. When you oppose the Democratic Party's immigration plans, what you're really doing is challenging their plan to accumulate more political power.